Every series has a Christmas special at some point, and Transformers is no stranger. Though a human tradition, throughout their time on Earth, Cybertronians have been known to partake in the festive traditions along with humans throughout various continuities. In the spirit of Christmas, I thought we should take a look at these times. So join me as we take a look at Transformers Christmas specials. The very first Transformers Christmas special took form in the short comic strip The Night the Transformers Saved Christmas. In the comic, Soundwave and Laserbeak attempt to drain the power of a small midfield town using an energy siphon to gather energy for the Decepticons. Bumblebee calls for backup after spotting the Decepticon, and they manage to scare Soundwave away. However, Laserbeak knocks a tree over, damaging a car full of a family named the Perrys. The Autobots then go about repairing the town, though Megan Perry, a small girl, informs Bumblebee that they were on their way to deliver presents to the poor, and place it under the town's Christmas tree. But now they can't as the power is out. That didn't stop Bumblebee from going to the tree and supplying power to it, saving Christmas. For some reason, this special was released in a Women's Day magazine in 1985, even though it was clearly produced by Marvel. Speaking of Marvel, Marvel UK did yearly Christmas specials, each focusing on a different character. In Christmas Breaker, the Autobots celebrate Christmas for Buster in the Ark, and Optimus is wearing a Santa Claus outfit for some reason. Prowl being Prowl complains about it being a waste of time, and he's probably right, while Jazz is still salty about recent encounters with Circuit Breaker, a super-powered woman capable of electrocuting bots, which Jazz got to experience firsthand. Jazz decides to drive Buster home as it's getting late, and in the process delivering some Christmas presents. Nearby, in a skating rink, a girl falls through the ice, though luckily Circuit Breaker is nearby and is able to rescue the girl, though was shouted at and called a freak due to her appearance. To let out her anger, she stumbles across Jazz and attacks him once again, though Buster manages to convince her to stop because it's Christmas, and she does because it's Christmas. Poor Jazz. In The Gift, Jetfire sits at Buster's window to tell him that he's worried about his failure in helping his Autobot comrades. But whenever a human is in danger, he is able to save the day. I believe this is so because he was built on Earth and so feels a fondness for humans. Buster gave him some comforting words and said that Jetfire's words were a Christmas gift to him. Somehow. Also, Galvatron was on the cover for some reason. In Stargazing, Starscream misses his home planet Cybertron, and a human attempts to cheer him up as it's Christmas. Starscream threatened to step on the human, not impressed by his antics, but the kid insists on showing Starscream the spirit of Christmas, and the two come across a van filled with the elderly stuck in the snow. Starscream is instructed to help them out, but is suddenly attacked by Streetwise. The human scolds Streetwise for his actions, allowing Starscream to help the van. After that, the boy asks whether Starscream understands the meaning of Christmas, and Starscream says that he was merely happy to humiliate Streetwise, before wishing the kid a Merry Christmas. Well, at least he tried. Cold Comfort and Joy tells the story of the recently resurrected Optimus Prime dealing with difficulties with getting readjusted to things, finding it hard to understand why he was so focused on protecting the humans before he had been brought back to life. Meanwhile, the three Power Masters receive an alert on TV about a giant robot attack in the town of Border Flats. They go to investigate to find three wreckers who attempted to partake in celebrating Christmas, but ended up causing the humans there to panic and run around, and when they tried to avoid stepping on them, they caused damage to the town. Optimus Prime shows up to grieve over the damage the Transformers have caused humans, his morals about humans now restored. In The Greatest Gift of All, it's Christmas Day, and after the Matrix quest, Longtooth sends his recovered piece of the Matrix to Optimus, allowing him to grant life to one of his many offline Autobots. He considers many, such as First Aid, Prowl, Silverbolt, one of the Dinobots, and even Sea Spray, for some reason, but dislikes the idea of playing God. Optimus is then interrupted by the report of a battle between the Rescue Patrol and Airstrike Patrol. The battle that ensues destroys a forest, and realizing the damage caused, Optimus uses the Matrix piece to repair the forest by shooting the piece into the Earth's atmosphere. Because it's Christmas. In Dreadwind's Xmas, Dreadwind's time has come to be replaced as a letter-page answerer in Marvel UK's comics, and so has himself locked inside one of their offices. Weeks pass until it is Christmas Eve, and he is visited by three Christmas ghosts. The first Grimlock, who tells him to go back to Cybertron, the second Blaster, who makes Dreadwind question his attitude towards others, and finally the third ghost is a distorted version of himself, who warns him that he will become like this if he doesn't change the way he acts. This finally spooks Dreadwind enough to quit. Christmas, everyone! In a Transformers United chapter, Scrap Heap calls Rodimus Prime and Cup to Planet Junk, claiming he has found treasure. While awaiting their arrival, Scrap Heap laments over his life, wishing he could be something more after being inspired when he saw Santa Claus on one of the many TVs on the planet. He sees a star in the sky, but it is nothing more than the Autobots arriving. Rodimus is weary that the treasure will be useless, considering this is the planet of junk and Scrapheap is a Junkian, but they were surprised to find that the treasure was a piece of Optimus Prime's armor, which had been broken off in a battle long ago and somehow found its way onto junk. Rodimus believes the gift is invaluable, and Cup wishes everyone a Merry Christmas. Isn't that adorable? In a Japanese Headmasters comic, the Autobots are assisting charity by visiting a children's hospital and giving presents to the children. Raiden is even wearing a Santa outfit. Where do the Autobots keep getting these? One boy is upset as he is in a wheelchair and cannot walk, and so Highbrow decides to fly him around town in an attempt to cheer him up and teach him the meaning of Christmas. Highbrow, like the boy, has no blood-related family, but family doesn't have to be biological. Then the two return to the hospital to find it attacked by the Decepticon Headmasters, though the Autobots manage to fend them off after some help from the boy shouting at them. Then Chrome Dome wishes everyone a Merry Christmas and the Autobots leave. In Transformers Animated, the two-part Human Error saga takes place during Christmas. In these episodes, Sari tries to teach the bots about Christmas and decorates their base, though luckily this time no one dresses up as Santa. The most popular toy of Christmas time is Soundwave, a now mass-produced version of the Autobots' old enemy. When the Autobots awaken on Christmas morning, they find themselves as humans. It turns out the Autobots are trapped in a simulation created by Soundwave, while in the real world, Sari is forced to assemble a crew of makeshift Autobots to defeat Soundwave, which they eventually manage to do. At the end of the episode, Wreck-Gar goes around with a sack and gives out garbage to anyone he comes across like a Robo-Santa. In The Nightmare Before Christmas, a Christmas special contained within Titan's movie Transformer magazine, Sam Witwicky is seen celebrating Christmas with his family and finds that Bumblebee wishes to know more about the celebration, only to have the cannibalistic Dead End attack his house. Bumblebee eventually manages to defeat him, and by the end of it, Sam gives his robotic friend a gift. Nah. Titan wasn't done just yet, and celebrated Christmas once again in their Transformers Prime comic strip. While the Autobots attempt to decorate their base for the holiday season, an apparently popular trend for the Autobots in all of these stories, they receive an alert that Megatron and Starscream are in Antarctica, and Optimus, Ratchet, and Bumblebee go to intercept. They end up wiping the floor with the Decepticons, and return to the base to find that RC and Bulkhead have turned it into an ice skating rink. In this Creon animated special named A Gift for Megatron, Megatron is resting by an open fire for the holiday season and begins opening the large pile of presents he has been given by his Creon Decepticons. However, Optimus and Sideswipe are up to no good, and place a present of their own in the pile, a Creon Bumblebee set, which, when Megatron opens it, beats the hell out of him. Who's the real villain here? In the Japanese Creon manga, Megatron takes over Metroplex, paints it and renames it the Metro Titan, only for it to crumble before his eyes, leaving him distraught. The Autobots then rebuild Metroplex and then offer Megatron a room in his base, and both Optimus and Megatron celebrate Christmas together, and it's absolutely adorable. In 2015, IDW released the Transformers Holiday Special, which contained 3 Christmas-themed stories from each of the 3 main titles at the time: Windblade, Robots in Disguise, and More Than Meets the Eye. The first, entitled Choose Me, was the Windblade Special, which parodied The Grinch Stole Christmas. The whole story is told in rhyme, and features a Grinch Starscream attempting to get the people he rules over to like him, and so decides to create a holiday for people to celebrate him. He broadcasts this across Cybertron, but the part about it being about celebrating him was cut off, and so Cybertron goes about celebrating Chosen one day and giving gifts to one another, though Starscream was still miserable as no one was celebrating him. However, Windblade, Ironhide, Chromia, Wheeljack and the others bring the party to Starscream to thank him for this creation of a holiday, and they all celebrate together. The 13th Day of Christmas was Robots in Disguise's special, and sees Detective Thundercracker and his partner Buster investigating the murder of human female Anna Log, killed at the hands of Santa Claus, Thundercracker suspects. He travels to the North Pole, and there Thundercracker ferociously battles Jolly St. Nick, though finds him to be a lot tougher than expected. Suddenly, Megatron appears, dressed in a Santa Claus outfit, and confesses to the crime. Megatron admits that the reason he committed the crime was because Santa only gave him coal for Christmas. Thundercracker then knocks Megatron out, apologizes to Santa, and then uses Megatron as a sleigh to give out presents across the world, only for the story to be revealed as yet another one of Thundercracker's poorly written screenplays, and the poor Decepticon is subject to criticism from the not impressed Marissa Fairborn. The More Than Meets the Eye special was called Silent Light, and in it the Lost Light is about to travel through a section of space filled with a species named the Molars, who don't like Transformers very much. To avoid detection, every member of the ship must enter a biometric envelopment device, and so after Megatron, Minimus Ambus, Rodimus, and Brainstorm finish experimenting with some weaponry Brainstorm created that looks suspiciously like Christmas decorations, I wonder why, they head off to bed. However, before Well, Nordica, and Swerve can do the same, they come across an infant protoform, and fear that it will cause them to be detected as there are not enough beds. They break into Ultra Magnus' office to put it into subspace hatch and get it off the ship, but they are caught by Minimus Ambus. Though before they can properly get an explanation out, the protoform takes control of Minimus' Magnus armor and goes walkabout. They manage to recover it before it can give Megatron a hug, though running out of options, Well takes the protoform to bed with him, only to wake up and discover that it wasn't a protoform at all, rather a cluster of scraplets, which had slowly been draining his spark energy. And Well said he was proud of the little guys. Oh, and also according to Nemesis Prime's figure buyer, he once attacked Santa Claus's village, destroyed it, set fire to his reindeer and incinerated them, and attempted to choke Santa to death, only being stopped when he was mysteriously transported away. Merry Christmas.